Welcome back, everyone, to episode 19 of the Minot Business Podcast, presented by Bennett Creative Media. I'm your host, Easton Bennett, and with us today, we have special guest Sean Arbaut. Sean, how's it going, my man?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. Good to get another episode out there and into the world. So just like always, we're going to get right into the questions. Don't want to bore people. For the people that have never heard of Sean Arbaut, what you do, what's your elevator pitch? What do you do?
Well, I'm a photographer here in Minot. Mostly do sports and senior pictures. Kind of just, it was not something I thought I was going to do in my life.
Okay.
Came to Minot to play baseball and finish school. And
So where are you originally from then?
I'm from California.
Okay.
I've been here now 10 years. Came here my junior year of college, played 2 years of baseball at Minot State. And yeah, I didn't expect to stay in Minot after graduating, but here I am, married a Minot girl. And
now you're stuck forever.
I don't like to say that, but maybe.
You constantly every day you're talking to her like, let's get out of here. And she's like,
she's actually more into it than I am.
Really?
Like,
Okay.
let's explore somewhere else. But I've built something I think pretty cool here, and we'll see what happens.
That's what we're going to get into. If there was a city that you'd want to go to, where would it be? I'm going to say it's Denver.
Yeah.
Really?
She likes to hike. I like to hike,
That's where you got married at, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Look at that. Spot on. See, I'm following along with your career and your life. So how did you get started in the photography industry? You said, did you say you weren't always interested in photography?
No, I came to Minot, needed a student worker job or just a job in general.
Yep.
As an athlete, it's hard to work a job outside of the school.
Mm-hmm.
So went to the athletics department, asked for a job, they sent me to the sports information director and said, you can work for this guy.
Okay.
And I said, okay, I don't care. Like literally sat there and typed in stats, like the most boring stuff you could think of.
Mm-hmm.
That was my job.
Like for games and stuff of the other
Not
athletics?
even like history stats.
Oh, really?
Hey, what did the softball team do in 1980? Did we have a softball team? I don't know.
You're like, I got to look into that.
So I was just doing, anything and everything for him. And then one soccer game, I was not really doing anything. I was just working and running papers and stuff. And Mike Linnell was his name. And he was like, hey, I need someone to take pictures at the game today. And I was like, I'll do it. Like, set up the camera. I don't know what I'm doing. So he gave me a camera. I went down there. It was awful, but did it.
Not good?
Yeah. And I don't think any pictures were worth anything.
They formatted the card immediately.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
That was good for you.
Yeah. So ever since then, I've been taking pictures for Minot State. I think the first 2 years, it wasn't really I wasn't really into it. It was just like, oh, I can take pictures instead of sitting in the press box. Sick.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to be in there.
Yeah. So is that how your interest kind of evolved? You went from just not wanting to sit in the press box. And when did you kind of know, I kind of like photography?
I would say like that second year, my senior year, when I was like, man, I kind of like this. Kind of started looking into actually learning photography and not just the basics.
Because what were you going to school for?
Exercise science. So I actually worked for Caleb Howman at Howman's Performance.
Yep. And we had Caleb on last week.
Yep.
He spoke good things about you.
Yeah. So I worked for him for 5 years.
Okay.
That's what I went to school for,
And you were kind of working on photography on the side while working for Caleb.
Yeah. And I think year 3 of photography, I was like, okay, this is it. I got my own camera, kind of invested in a lens, didn't have a business yet, but I was just like, oh, this is sweet. I have my own stuff,
Yeah.
So
were you using the school stuff at the time?
Yep. When I would shoot Minot State stuff, I would.
Okay.
I got a kit lens and a kit, and then after using the kit stuff for a while and realized I can't do what I want to do with that, invested a little bit of money, my own money, and got something a little nicer. And
so before we go into the investment of the gear, because that is something I'm curious about, because we're relatively in kind of the same field. So I want to know your thoughts on that. But having a mentor, Mike was his name, correct? So having that mentor, how was that kind of a game changer in your photography career based on having that mentor and then just not having a mentor at all for some people?
I probably wouldn't have done it.
Okay.
If Mike wasn't teaching me stuff, and I don't know if I would have actually kept with photography. If he wasn't like, hey, you're actually pretty good at this. You have a pretty decent eye. If you learn a few things, you might be pretty good.
Yeah.
Having him there, he knew a lot about photography. He had to, with being a sports information director. You got to know everything about sports pretty much. And having him around was awesome. Like I would show him a photo. He would go, probably a little tighter. Like, or I don't like it. Like the ball's not on the foot or like, stuff like that. Stuff you don't know. Like, if I didn't have him around, I would probably be still working for Caleb.
So do you think that expedited your photography journey a little bit? And I assume yes.
Yep, absolutely.
So you eventually started your business. When did you know, okay, I want to start a business? Were you always business minded? What did that process look like in the beginning stages?
Both my parents are entrepreneurs. So they both worked for themselves growing up. I didn't know what a real job was.
Yep.
So actually getting a real job was weird to me. Like working for somebody was kind of weird. I knew I had that kind of in me, like the entrepreneurial like life. But I didn't think about it for photography. I really didn't. Like I was shooting when you were playing baseball for Legion. Like I was shooting your games sometimes just for fun. Like, and then I think it was, I don't know when it was. I think it was right after you were done.
Okay.
They hosted a tournament.
Yep.
And I was taking pictures for it, giving them to Caleb to post social media, whatever. And he was like, dude, we should start a business. And I was like,
oh, so Caleb kind of threw the bug in your ear.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like, we're going to Office Depot right now. Like in the middle of a game, we're going to Office Depot and buying you a printer and we're printing photos. And I was like, okay, like whatever.
Like photos of the tournament.
Yeah. And he's like, you're selling the photos. And I was like, there has to be a better way to do this. Like I'm not selling prints. Like, so we ended up going to Best Buy and we got like, I think 25 USB drives.
Okay.
And I was like, I'll sell USB drives of the game.
Yeah.
Like of the tournament.
Yeah.
So I did that. I had like 3 people buy them.
Yep.
Made $150. I was like, that was easy.
Like, let's go.
Yeah. So I think Caleb was the big reason why I started the business.
Okay.
So I went and got all my paperwork done with the state and started my business that summer or that fall.
Was there any, before you started the photography business, was there any other businesses that you were thinking, maybe I should start this business, a restaurant, or maybe I'm going to start this one day?
So my dad's a contractor. Arbaut photographer, or Arbaut.
He's a photographer.
Arbaut construction. He's 4th generation. So that was kind of our family business. So I just thought about maybe like continuing that up here.
Okay.
Like maybe I'll just do construction.
Yeah.
Like move Arbaut construction up to North Dakota. My brother's actually the 5th generation. So he took over in California. But
okay.
That's kind of the only route I ever thought like maybe I should go into business with, but yeah.
Start it, and then you're just like, nope, we're going to do photography. So when you started your photography business, when Caleb kind of jump started you, you have to be a jack of all trades in the beginning. What did it look like in the beginning when you were trying to figure out how the hell do I even run a business?
Let's see. The first night I got like all my paperwork done, I was like, I need a website.
Yeah.
So I literally stayed up all night, got on Wix, and I was like, I'm building myself a website.
Yeah.
So I literally stayed up all night and then had to go to work at 5 a.m. to the gym. And Caleb's like, you look tired. I was like, I was up all night making a website.
Like, look at this. Look at this website.
Yeah. And I was like, it was crappy, but it was like fun. It was like something new. And I was like, this is exciting. Like, so learning how to build a website, doing it on my own.
Yep.
Learning how to sell digital assets.
Yep.
No idea what I was doing. Like, luckily Wix had some like apps on their site that I could use, and it wasn't great. I ended up finding a better website to do it.
Okay.
You just like throw darts at the board and hope like, man, I hope this sticks.
Hope you don't hit the wall.
Yeah. Or I hope this works out. I don't know like if it's going to work out or not. That's kind of the biggest thing. And then learning your tax stuff, like learning all your like money.
Yeah. That was probably the difficult part for me. I know for me, when I was starting, I just used, I think I had a Google Docs, like a Google spreadsheet of like, okay, here's what people are paying me. Here's the money I'm spending. And then I just handed that over to my uncle who's an accountant. But what did your tax process look like in the beginning?
Honestly, a blank sheet of printer paper and handwriting. I didn't even like Excels. Like I was just like, I need to see it on paper. I need to see it on paper. Learning what I had to charge for sales tax because I'm selling prints through my website.
So technically it's a product people are buying.
Yes.
Okay.
And then one thing I had to learn is, and I hope this is still right, North Dakota doesn't charge sales tax on digital goods.
Okay.
So that was like, oh, maybe I'll just stick to digital. Like, and they can go print wherever they want. Like, so just learning that stuff. Taxes, luckily Caleb's uncle.
Okay.
I was
the tax man.
Yeah. He was helping me out right away. And then once I got bigger, I had to find an accountant.
So in the beginning, we'll get into kind of that stuff a little bit. But in the beginning, did you have some imposter syndrome when starting a business where you think, am I like one of these business people? You see all these business people and they're like, you picture what a business person looks like. Did you ever have imposter syndrome thinking, should I even be running a business?
I don't think I had imposter syndrome running a business because I grew up around business. Like my mom was a horse trainer. My dad was a contractor. Like they ran their own businesses. I think for me, it was being a photographer.
Okay.
Like there are so many photographers in this town.
There are a ton.
And I was like, I'm not that good. Like, and then I had Aaron Grandy and some guys like that from DLB that I was coaching.
Yep.
They're like, take my senior pictures. And I was like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't do I don't do portraits. I do action and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, so then it was like, am I a senior picture guy? Like, can I do portraits?
You're like, oh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But everyone else in town says like, I'm going to charge this. And I was like, oh my gosh, like
you're charging that for senior pictures.
That's how much you're charging.
Yeah.
Like, and then you get into that, like, how much do I charge? Like, I don't know. Like, I think that was my biggest thing was like,
the pricing
that. And like, I'm not a portrait guy, but now I am.
Okay.
So it's like,
so what do you think the importance of trying new things is? I know, I don't know if you still do weddings. I know you did, maybe you did 1 or 2 weddings. I don't know
I've
if you
done
still
4.
Okay.
And I don't promote it.
Yeah. Okay.
I won't promote that.
You'll do it for like friends, family if you need to. Okay.
Like I had someone reach out for next fall. It's during August and that's my busy time of the year. And I'm like, I can't do it.
For senior pictures and stuff.
Yeah. And Minot State. Like,
yep, I suppose.
I don't promote family pictures anymore. I don't promote babies. I don't promote anything but sports and senior pictures.
So what do you think? Why do you think it's important to be able to do these different things and then pick the niche that you want to go down or niche? I posted a video the other day and someone was yelling at me that I pronounced it wrong. So however you want to pronounce it, how do you go down that avenue?
So funny you asked that because I just hired somebody to do my portfolio.
Okay.
I was like, I can't do this on my own. So I sent him 1,000 photos.
Okay.
And he's going to organize my portfolio, tell me what I am, what I'm weak at, what I'm doing wrong.
That's sweet. I didn't even know there was a service like that.
Yep. He basically said like, what do you want to be? I said, I want to be a sports guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that's you. Like, but he's like, it's good that you try new things because you can learn from those other, like I can learn from a wedding that might help me during a sporting event.
Yeah.
Like you better catch that kiss or you are because that's like the sporting event. You better catch that goal.
Otherwise,
or else that might be the only goal of the game, especially in hockey or soccer. Like, you better catch that.
4 hours and it's 0-0.
Yeah, you better catch that. Like, I don't know. I think learning the posing, like for senior pictures or like babies, even like I do media days, what I call them.
Yep.
I have to learn different poses for girls, guys, everything. Like, I think everything helps you get better at your one thing.
Yeah. So why do you think if you were to be talking to the people that are listening, they're like, I want to know how to get better at business. If I'm just starting, let's say it's a kid out of college, what would be your experience on trying new things to kind of hone in on that one thing?
I would recommend like if you were trying to start, say, a photography business, reach out to local photographers. Like just hit them in the DMs and say, hey,
I feel like most people are pretty willing to chat like that too.
Yeah. For the most part, like sometimes I forget to respond to people and I feel bad. Like I'm just busy and I'll look at it and I'll be like, okay, I'll get back to that, but I'll forget. Yeah. It happens.
So the word's out now. If Sean's ignoring you, he's not meaning to.
Yeah. I'm not trying to ignore you. I just sometimes forget to respond. We're busy. We're busy people.
We're editing and stuff.
But most people reach back and answer your questions. I remember when I was first starting off, somebody threw me this guy's name on Instagram. I loved his work. I just hit him up. I said, hey, like, what do you use for lights?
Yeah.
He goes, oh, I use these. They're the best things I've ever used. And they've lasted for 20 years. Yeah. And I was like, sweet.
Cool. I'm going to buy those.
I'm getting those. Like stuff like that. Like reach out, talk to people, and then ask for permission to go shoot something.
Okay.
Like if you want to come shoot a Minot State game, talk to me or talk to the SID, sports information director at the college you're at or whatever. Like,
yep.
For me, I'm going to talk about sports mostly, but if you want to go like shoot with another photographer, I've had that where like Josh Strong, do you remember Josh Strong? Like, he just wanted to get access. Mm-hmm. So we get him access. Like I can't pay him. Like I can't pay you to come shoot a game. Yeah. Like some people I can, like if I'm leaving, like I'm going to hire somebody. Like, you know?
So how did that go? That kind of pivots into the Josh Strong thing is you've had, I guess you could call them mentees work under you.
Yep.
How have you went about kind of showing these guys how you work and how they can work and how they can make their work better?
Come hang out. Like you want to learn? Come hang out with me. Like I will give you a camera and I'm going to put you in the spot and I'm going to make you shoot. Like, that's the biggest thing is like when I had Josh reach out, he was just fresh off the base, going to school, being an art student. Mm-hmm. He's like, I want access. Like I want to access this. Like he's like, I don't care if I get paid. Like, and I was like, I'll figure a way to get you paid, like some money. Like I can't just have you working for me and not just try and help you out.
Yeah. What would you say the main point of maybe Josh specifically? Is there someone else that's helped a little bit?
Oscar.
Okay. Oscar. Yep. That's the other one I was thinking of. I know Oscar
Holtz.
Yep. So what is the main point that generally they need your advice on or their help with? Is there anything specific where people are like, hey, I need help on this?
I wouldn't say they need help. I think they just need the access.
Okay.
Like, I really think it's like they have the ability to do everything that they want to do. I'm trying to think. Probably lighting. Okay. I would say lighting's a big thing when people are like, whoa, that's like cool.
Was the lighting for when you move from, just using natural light if you're out taking senior pictures or shooting a soccer game to now doing studio stuff?
Yep.
What did that transition look like? Because I am terrified of, well, I don't do photography, but photography where you have strobe lights and stuff indoors, I don't even mess with that. What was your transition like for that?
A lot of trial and error. Mm-hmm. A lot of like, hey, does anyone want to come take pictures?
Okay.
This might look really bad.
Yeah.
But I got lucky. Like I think a lot of it is, yes, you have to be skilled. You have to know kind of what's going on, but a little luck. Like some people don't like luck, but I think there's a little luck.
Gotta be lucky to be good and good to be lucky is my thing.
Like when I first got my strobes, I grabbed a couple baseball players because I knew them. And I said, hey, you guys want to like do a photo shoot with me?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah. And they turned out great. And I was like, sweet. I have no idea what these buttons do, but this is sweet.
Like I'm a strobe guy now. Yeah. Let's go.
So, I've learned over the time, like just you learn, you grab a book, you watch YouTube University. Yeah. Everything, like everything helps. You can watch, honestly, I reached out to BYU.
Okay.
They have a great photography program, I guess. And I found them on Instagram and I honestly messaged their site and I said, hey, what do you guys use? How do you guys do it? They messaged me back.
Really? Like, it's pretty, I think a lot of people are scared. And I was too in the beginning when, asking how to do video stuff. I think a lot of people are scared to just ask.
Yeah. Gary Vee says it best.
Yeah, he does.
Just do it. Just DM them. If they don't answer, DM them again.
Yeah. And there's so many people you can get access to, especially in today's day and age with social media and, Twitter. A lot of people I have conversations with on Twitter and especially Instagram DMs. I know that he actually mentioned something. He said, if you want to work, he was talking video specific, which is perfect for me. But he said, if you want to work for a certain person or company, DM 500 of the best NFL athletes and say, hey, let me be your personal videographer. He said, none of them might answer, but maybe one might answer and give you some sort of opportunity. So I think a lot of people don't realize how much access is actually out there.
Yeah, there is. I've had, this year is tough because I don't have an actual intern or whatever, a mentee. But the other day I posted on Instagram, I said, hey, is anyone interested in sports? Want to get access?
Yeah.
I had 10 people reach out.
Really?
I was like, oh, shoot.
Like, there are people out there.
Yeah. And I have one kid from that just graduated DLB that's at Minot State now, Matthew Bosch. He's kind of interested and he's shown some stuff, and he shot a game for me the other day when I had to go to a wedding. Like, you know, and then there's a cheerleader that she was like, I'm interested. Cool. Yeah. Come hang out. Like, if I actually need to hire you, I'll hire you. Like, so.
And that's, just asking. Like, it's crazy. So one thing I wanted to ask about is free work. For me, we do spec ads. We shoot all these kinds of things that it's kind of the work we want to do, but maybe someone's not paying us. So we shoot a spec ad for Nike. Have you had any previous, times where you've had to shoot free work, or you wanted to shoot free work?
I used to shoot a lot of free work before I knew I needed to make money.
Yeah.
I don't as much anymore, but after talking to my portfolio guy, he said after he looks at all my stuff, he's going to tell me what I need to go shoot.
Okay.
And so I probably will do more of that because I want to shoot more for colleges around North Dakota. Or honestly, any college, anywhere. I like shooting in the college atmosphere. I'm going to go shoot a couple NDSU games the last 2 football games this year for NDSU.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
But I'm shooting 4 Getty Images.
Oh, congrats, man. That's awesome.
It'll be fun. I'm
that's
nervous.
That's a big name.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
That's like the National Geographic of stock images.
Yeah, I'm nervous for sure because I don't want to say nervous. I'm anxious, I guess. Because I've never shot for anybody. I've literally been Minot State and myself. Yeah. Like, so I got to learn some stuff, and I'm kind of like, oh gosh, like this is the big leagues almost. Like, I'm not shooting the big leagues, but I'm shooting for the big leagues. Like,
which is pretty sweet. So you said you want to shoot in the college atmosphere. Have you ever had any thoughts about, okay, maybe I want to shoot MLB stuff, or I want to shoot NFL stuff, or, NBA?
So I got the opportunity to go shoot the Colorado Rockies this summer, and I shot that.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. How'd that opportunity come about?
I went to a photography workshop, sports photography workshop.
Okay, I remember
and that's kind of how I got the Getty Images thing. And they just take us to events and basically teach us the world of sports photography.
Like, hey, here's how the professionals are doing it.
Yeah.
Not that you're not professional, but
but the
guys that are shooting it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get to go to a Rockies game if you want. Like, there's so many events they have hosted, and you can just pick what you want to go shoot pretty much. So I got to experience that. And after talking to the team photographer, I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to be this, because he was like, it was Star Wars Day when we were there.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, my second shooter, he doesn't get to shoot the game today. He has to go shoot Star Wars people all day.
Like in the crowd.
Yep.
Oh.
And I was like, maybe I don't want to. Like,
I don't want to shoot Star Wars people in the crowd.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, it was kind of like, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Like, and that was,
I suppose you see on all these MLB platforms, it's like, okay, they have pictures of fans and they got pictures of this kind of stuff. You don't think about the people that are actually taking them.
Yeah. Well, someone's taking them, but it's like, I didn't think it was the team photographers.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was maybe the marketing purpose. Like, but it's the photographers are doing all of that. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But
and their turnaround time on the photos is ridiculous, isn't it? Like,
so it's all FTP stuff. So basically they're sending files right away, like during the game.
Oof. Well, I suppose, because they hit a home run, they want it.
Yep.
Right.
And that's what I'm nervous about and anxious about, because Getty Images, you have to send photos during the game.
So is that what they want for the NDSU games?
Yep.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Big learning experience. Yep, so I'm excited.
You're going to have to learn a little bit about that. So I want to go a little bit more into the funding side of things. I assume you didn't have to fund your company with huge overhead like some people do. We had Caleb on last week, and he talked about, having to get a loan and stuff like that for his company. But myself included, I think I put $1,000 in. What did yours look like for getting your own camera, your own lens? Is it just money you had out of your pocket and kind of went with it, or what did that look like?
Yeah. So right away, it was just money I had. I think I spent $2,000.
Yeah.
Maybe more than that.
What was your first camera?
7D Mark II.
Okay.
Which was like the best non-professional sports camera. And then I got a 70-200, which is the typical sports camera or lens.
Got to get tight.
Yeah. So I think it had to have run me like $3,000 to $4,000.
Okay.
And so what I did is, credit cards are great as long as you know how to use them.
Yeah.
I had a Best Buy card, and my Best Buy card had 12 months 0%.
Zero interest. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I can do that.
Like, let's go.
Like I will put all this on my credit card. So I bought it through Best Buy.
Mm-hmm.
I paid it off before 12 months were up.
Yeah.
Like that's what I did right away. And then when I started like really getting into the business stuff, I was like, okay, I need a computer now. Yeah. Because my laptop does not handle this well.
Can't edit images fast at all.
No. And it was crashing and I was like, okay, I need a new kit. I need new everything. So I got another lens, got a camera. And that was just through money I made from my first lens and camera.
Okay.
So
just kind of saved up with the gear you had.
Yeah. And then I got to a point where I actually needed a big boy computer and another lens and another body. Yep. So I took a loan out from a family member. Okay. And I paid him back. It was like $5,000, but yeah, took it out, paid him back. Honestly, within the first 6 months, because it was like,
you don't want this over your head.
Yeah. And I could make the money fast enough. And I wasn't relying right away on my photography business as an income because I was working.
Oh yeah, I suppose. So photography was kind of a side thing.
Yeah. It was a side gig for 3 to 4 years. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it was a side gig until this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You did just go like full time doing it.
January 1 this year. I was like, awesome. We're doing this.
And that's pretty sweet that you can have a full-time job and be making money on the side.
Yeah. And that's what was awesome about it was I could take my side gig and just reinvest it in my business. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people I don't think realize they could do is like, you could be working a job right now that you know is like, this isn't what I want to do. But if you do your side gig or whatever you want to do, use that money. Don't spend it on yourself. Use that money to reinvest into your company or business.
To create freedom.
Yeah. And then by the time you get to a point where I did, where I was like, and Caleb even realized it, he was like, yeah, you don't really like this anymore. We should probably move on. Yeah. And right away I was like, what? Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, wait, pause.
Wait, I got to get married. Like I can't lose a job. Like,
like you can't fire me, Caleb.
Yeah. And it wasn't a fire. It was like mutually we were like, yep, this is about it. And I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I was scared. I was like, oh my gosh,
especially going on your own.
Yeah. So, I think reinvest in yourself and your company and you will down the road see
so many people in the business. Well, not in the business world, just people that have everyday jobs, I think can pick up some type of side hustle, some hobby on the side to make supplemental money. And you never know, one day this might turn into something where it's like, okay, I can quit my job being an accountant now and sell knickknacks out of my garage or whatever it might be. Yeah. So the photography industry, not necessarily the cheapest. How do you decide on which gear you want to buy?
Oh man, I'm in a conundrum right now, actually. Okay. I want to buy some new stuff because I got this gig with NDSU and I got to play with some toys in Colorado when I was at that conference. And I was like, oh my gosh.
You're like, shit.
Yes. I was like, this is a lot of money. And I'm to a point where it's like, okay, what do I actually need?
Is it like new camera bodies, new lenses?
A new lens and a new body. So I'm a Canon. I was a Canon shooter forever. Now I'm both Canon and Sony. Okay. Now I think I'm going to go Sony, all Sony.
Really? Switching to the dark side.
Yeah.
I think I'm Canon for life.
I thought so. And Josh always made fun of me. I was always like, oh, Canon for life, like Canon for life. And he's like, you're going to switch to Sony. And I was like, no, I'm not. Here I am like actually debating if I'm going to switch to Sony. Okay. Especially after that conference, because I got to play with all their new Sony gear. Yeah. All the big lenses.
All their G Masters and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how do I pick the right stuff? Right away, I just got what I needed. So I got non-professional DSLR. Yep. But the fastest non-professional DSLR. Yep. Because I was shooting sports. Got what was recommended by all sports photographers to have in your bag, 70 to 200. Yep. You can shoot anything with that for the most part. Baseball, football, soccer is tough because a lot of the action's far away. Yep. So you just wait till the action's closer to you.
So hard to carry around a 500 mil lens for soccer.
Yeah. And especially how expensive it is right away. Like everything's so expensive. So you got to like work your way up. I would say photographers invest in glass before you invest in your bodies. Yep. Because most of your bodies can get away with doing a good job. Yeah. glass is always going to make it look better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm to a point where I want to spend 20 grand.
There you go.
On 2 things.
Really?
Yep.
Is it the Sony A1?
Yep. Sony A1 and a 400 2.8. That's 12 grand.
That camera, that lens. Really?
12 grand.
Jeez. I thought Sony was supposed to be cheaper than Canon.
No, lenses they'll all be the same price no matter what.
Because the RF glass is ridiculous too.
Is it?
I think it's a little
$1,500 more kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even look at it. I just go with Sigma and just ride.
I have Sigma.
Ride till the end of the day. But yeah, no, that's definitely an interesting topic. I know when I'm investing in gear, it's always like, because I want the Canon C70, which I'm video wise, but it's like, do I want to spend $8,000 on a camera body that maybe there's gonna be something new in the next year or two? Yeah,
and that's what I'm worried about. Is I've been waiting for Canon to like
put something out.
Yeah, are you going to compete with A1 yet?
Yeah. Like, because what do you shoot with now? Do you have an R5? Do you have a 1D Mark?
Nope, I'm not mirrorless. I'm DSLR for Canon still.
Okay.
So I have 1DX Mark II.
Okay. Yep.
Which it's good.
Yeah.
It's a workhorse, but now they have the Mark III and an R3. So it's like,
oh yeah, I forgot the R3 was out.
Yeah. Like the R3 is supposed to be the competitor, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's still subpar, I think, to the A1.
Canon always limiting themselves.
Yeah. And then on the Sony side, I have an A9 II, which is mirrorless, and I really like that.
Maybe we can get a Leica.
For my portraits.
Yeah. How did you go about getting your first clients? Do you remember your first paid gig?
Yep. Senior pictures, actually.
Okay.
For the most part.
And what was the thought when you finally made money off that? And you're like, oh, this is crazy.
Right away, I thought $100 for a senior session was like, yeah, I'm killing it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't.
You're like, I could do 100 of these. I'd be a rich man.
Yeah. I don't know. Like right away, I wasn't too worried about the money.
Okay.
Because like I said, I had that other job. So I was like, it was cool to like take that money and reinvest. When I first got my first contract, that was cool.
Okay. And
I was like, oh.
I can take some photos for a long period of time.
And now I have to make money to survive. So,
have you ever been to a point where your back's against the wall and you're like, I don't have any jobs lined up. I got to do something. Or has it always kind of been just steadily kind of moving along?
I think the biggest thing is I have contracts. So I haven't had a point where it's like, if I lose these contracts, I'll be back against the wall.
So you kind of know what you have coming in right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is good.
Yeah. And I already have people signed up for next year for stuff. So it's like, I know I'm going to make at least this much money right now. And anything on top of that is plus.
That's what's nice about the photo industry is that people book things so far in advance. Like senior pictures, you're booking a year out, right?
Yep. Which is crazy to me.
Yeah. Which is, I think I book my senior pictures a month out, maybe something like that. But do you have any nightmare stories about like losing photos from clients?
You're going to love this one.
Okay.
I'm shooting Pat's wedding.
Okay.
So Pat asked me, him and his wife, if I would shoot their wedding. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it as like a wedding gift. Like I was newer to photography. I wasn't new, but I was newer to photography. That was my first wedding. And I was like, absolutely. Like you guys paid for my brother to come out, be in a second shooter. So they just paid for his flight. He came out, did that. We shot the wedding. It was awesome. You know, everything went great. Brother left, just gave me all the cards. I edited all the photos. I was done with editing all the photos. I texted JC, his wife, and I was like, hey, can you come by and grab all the photos? Because at that time, I didn't have like a digital like gallery for them to transfer to. So I was just going to give them a flash drive and move on. And she was like, oh, I can't today. Like, I'll come tomorrow. I was like, okay, sweet. And at the time I was working on my laptop, had 2 external hard drives, a working and a non-working one. Yep. And I started like, okay, they're not going to come. So I'll start cleaning up everything because my desktop looked crazy. My hard drives looked crazy. So I was like, okay, like start cleaning up, dragged it to the trash folder, hit delete.
Yep. Clear empty trash.
And sure enough, heart, stomach, everything just dropped. I got white. I was freaking out.
Yep.
And I realized I deleted their whole wedding.
The whole thing.
All gone.
Did you try to recover it? Like get some recovery software?
So right away, I just freaked out.
Yeah.
Like freaked out. I called my dad, like panicked. I was like, do you know anyone that knows computers? Because I don't know anything about computers. And like, I cried, I puked. I was like, I just ruined like their life. Like that's their wedding.
Yeah.
That is one and done. Like if I would have deleted a football game, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I would have been pissed.
There's more
and,
football games.
Scared, like, cause might not get my contract back, but it's like, whatever. It happens. That's a wedding, like somebody's wedding.
Yeah.
So I talked to an Apple guy and he's like, you can't do anything on the Apple, but if it was on your external hard drive that you deleted it off of, it's still there. He goes, you have to buy this software. It might not get it all, but it's going to get some of it back. And I was like, okay, let's try this. So I spent like $150 and bought this software. It took 36 hours to run on my hard drive. So I was like, let it sit.
To try and get it back.
Yeah. So
were you not working for those 36 hours? You're like, I'm going to let it sit there. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, I wasn't going to touch anything. I was going to make sure it was plugged in. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
I had to go to work and work with Pat. And JC was there. And I was like, I have to tell him. Like, I have to tell him. I can't just like hope this works and never tell him.
Yeah. Because I suppose they were looking for their hard drive that day, the flash drive that day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. I sat down next to JC. I started crying. Like, I was like, JC, I lost your, like, they're all deleted. And she looked at me and she goes, Sean, it's okay. Like, it will figure it out. And I was like, how are you? Yeah,
how are you not
calm?
mad right now?
And I'm freaking out, like crying in front of you. And she's like, Sean, we'll figure it out and it'll work out. So like 36 hours are up. Go to the computer, retrieves nothing.
Really? So was that guy like a salesperson for that recovery software?
No.
He's like, you got to download my software. I just made it home.
I was like, hey, I'm going to run it again.
Yeah.
So I ran it again. 36 hours later, everything's back.
Really?
Everything. The only thing that was messed up was all the file names were not file names. Like it was just like
weird shit.
Like, yeah. So like every picture was in the wrong spot, whatever. I was like, I don't care. Like I will spend the whole
fist bumping.
I was just like so excited. So got everything recovered, basically renamed it all and put it back in where it's supposed to be. And ever since then, I don't delete anything.
Yeah. Just keep it on.
I just keep it. I have recovery. Like I have the setup now. And I've done some like weird stuff where I was shooting a basketball game once and Tyler Rudolph was getting an award or something after the game, but I've already took my card and ingested into my hard drive at the game. And then they said, hey, like, can you take pictures of this? So I was like, yeah. So I took pictures, went home. I already ingested, I thought, in my mind. So I deleted the card. And then the next day, the new SID was like, hey, where are those pictures? And I was like, oh, they're on the website. Like I put them up there.
Yeah.
I ingested everything. He goes, they're not there. And I was like, I swear, like they were there. Like, and then he looked at the video from the game and said, you were taking pictures. I know you took pictures. Like, where are the pictures?
Yeah.
And he got so mad at me. And I was like, that was another like.
And you're like, bro, they're on the website.
Yeah. And I looked and they weren't. And I like realized, oh, I deleted them off the card. Like I can't get those back. Like,
once you format a card, you're pretty much done for.
Yeah.
So as far as finding your creative style for photographers out there, how did you find yours, or how should someone maybe go about finding their own creative style?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Like
you just kind of just did your thing.
Yeah. You kind of just find it. Like it's, for me, I loved like the clean and crisp look of like action shots. Like I don't like the Instagram looking filters like on your action shots. Like if you really want to, like even on my portraits now, I like that clean, crisp look. Like
real life, like real to eye, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Like almost. Yeah.
Because I know you see some weddings, and weddings are very stylized, and it's maybe not comparable, but it's like really
like some people go like
really warm.
Yeah.
Or something's really cool.
Yeah. I tend to like that like perfect white balance, but I'm not really good at perfect white balance. Nobody is.
Nobody is. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
It's an anomaly.
But yeah, I think you just have to figure it out. Like if you looked at me, Josh, and Oscar, because those are the photographers I've worked with.
Yep.
And you look at our stuff, like Josh has got his own creative style that I would never do.
Yeah.
But that's his style and he likes it. And I think it works for him. And like Oscar has his own style. Like Oscar's more like that gritty, like,
yeah,
I don't like, and it works. Like, I don't know. Like you just have to figure it out. Like, and I think you have to emulate someone you like too.
There's so many things that work too, I think.
Yeah. And I think like, look at people you like. Like I love the guys who shoot for the Jets. Their photographers are awesome. And I like that look, but try to be like them. Like you might find it in like, oh, I don't actually like this, or I like this part of it, but I don't like this part of it.
And get to a certain point where maybe it's similar to what the Jets are doing, but you can throw your little special sauce or your little creative differences on it. So you've built some partnerships with organizations, specifically educational institutions, for their team media days. How did that come about? Did you have to pitch them like, hey, let me do the media days, or did they kind of come up to you?
So I'm with Minot State.
Yep.
That kind of was just because I was already there. Like really, like it just kind of grew into what it is. I've had to do contract negotiations now.
Yep.
Because
that was exciting.
Yeah, those are fun. Those suck. But it's worked into like, hey, this is what you get for how much you're paying me. Right. The other stuff, like I do Minot High media days for some of the teams. That's mostly organic.
Okay.
I don't pitch anything.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are like, oh, how much marketing do you do? I don't do any.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to ask you the next question.
Yeah. I don't do any marketing. Like I thought I had to right away. Like 2 years ago, I would put like Facebook ads for my senior pictures and like stuff like that. And now it's like the kids do it for me.
Just word of mouth.
Share it on IG story. Like kids do it for me.
And that goes back to having a good product. So a good photo, if you take a picture, I know even my sister, for example, she plays basketball for Minot High. If you take a good picture of her, she's going to share it to her story because it's her.
Yeah.
And then eventually people are going to click and they'll be like, oh, who's this Sean Arbaut guy?
Yep. And that's kind of how it's worked for me. And I was talking to my portfolio guy again. Yeah. And he was like, how much marketing do you do? Like, do we need to like talk about that? And I was like, I have 25 people signed up for next year already. And he goes, what?
How?
He's like, is that normal? And I go, nope, but that's what it is this year. And like, I don't know. For me, it's been pretty organic overall. Like I have parents reach out on Facebook's awesome. Yeah. Like for marketing organically, actually for me.
Social media is crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
So some marketing strategies, obviously we can skip that one because you don't do a ton. What do you enjoy about the business process? I only got a couple more questions for you, but what do you really enjoy the day-to-day? Not on the creative side, but on the business side.
Tough.
Or none of it. That can be an answer too.
Honestly, I like, my wife's going to hate me, but I like money.
Everyone likes it.
Yeah. But I like I'll walk into we went to a wedding last week and it was a brand new venue. And I walk in, I was like, man, how much does this cost?
Yeah.
Like, do you think we can build this and start a business? Like, I just think of business to everything. Like, how can we make money? I like that. Like, I like to just play around with it in my mind. Like
the ideation process.
Yeah.
I love questioning how much things are.
Yeah.
Like, especially in industries, I have no idea. Like I go to the eye doctor and I'll look at their machine or whatever. I'm like, God, I wonder what they had to pay to get that.
Yeah. We were at the wedding and they had this little photo booth thing. It was just an iPad and a ring light.
Really?
And Shelby's like, I looked up how much it cost. It was $8,000. I was like, we can do that for less.
Yeah. You're like, I already got the tools.
Yeah, we can do that for less. But I was like, maybe we should start a business. We hire a high school kid to come to weddings, set it up, and we're good.
Yeah.
Like I don't like stuff like that. I like to just think about that stuff.
Just throwing ideas out there.
Yeah.
I actually have a note on my iPad and phone too. And I just write down random business ideas I get. I know some people have like a notebook by the side of their bed, but there've been multiple times where I'm laying in bed at night and I'm like, I'll remember that in the morning. And then I don't. So I've actually started writing those down. Mount Rushmore of business advice, top 4 pieces. We ask every guest on here, someone's starting a business or they're just going through business. What would you recommend to them?
Number 1, reach out to somebody that's doing what you're doing, what you want to do. I think
it shortens the learning curve.
Yeah. That's number one. Like, just reach out. Number two, be personable. Be able to talk to people. And number three, be kind.
There it is.
I think
people want to work with people that are fun to work with.
Yeah.
Even if your product isn't like 10 out of 10, maybe it's a 8 out of 10. But if you're a good person, I think people want to work with you.
Yeah. I didn't get voted the best photographer in Minot.
Yeah, right.
Like, just be kind to people. Like, and number four, I don't know. Enjoy your work. If you don't enjoy it, like,
that goes back to the passion thing, right? Do something passionate about, which I think is
maybe those aren't in the right order, but those are the four.
Yeah, no, we'll make sure it's out there that there's no order. It's no specific order. What is your North Star? Is there anything you're looking to accomplish down the road? Do you have any 5, 10, 15-year goals?
Yeah, I want to hire people. I want to start.
People, there you go.
Like, maybe I don't want to. I like being Arbaut Photography. Maybe I'll turn into like your creative media.
Yep.
Like, maybe I'll turn into a media company, but
you can't be my competitor.
But I wouldn't. My media company wouldn't be mostly video. Like, I love doing graphic design. I want to say love, but I really like doing graphic design. I kind of do some hype videos for the college.
Yep.
It's not my favorite thing, but I like it. Like, it's a creative thing that just kind of gets me out of the photography space every now and then.
So just add more services here and there.
Yeah. But I would love to hire a second photographer. Like, some days I have to shoot 4 games a day, and it's like, it'd be nice to have 2 of those games and someone else has 2 of those games. Like, but it's one thing about Minot, nobody wants to live here.
Nope.
So it's tough to like pitch that. I pitched it to my brother and he said,
no, thank you.
There's no mountains there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, even in the industry that we're both in, photo and video, it's hard to find, well, maybe video more so, but I find it's hard to find people that are really interested in video stuff. Photos probably a little bit more because there's a ton of photographers out there, but even there's a couple people, I don't know if you know Gabe Tora. He's a student at Minot High right now, and he
does some good work.
Yeah, he's interested in that kind of stuff, but he's more interested in the photo side. I'm like, hey, dude, video is more fun. Come do this with me. So, but yeah, it's just finding those people, but it is a little bit tougher in Minot.
Yeah, and like, it was crazy. Like 2 years ago when Josh was here, Greg Spencer was here.
Yep.
Trey Morton was here. Like, if I could just have those guys back,
yeah,
that's the dream team for like a college. Like, and that's what I think about mostly is college stuff. But
yeah,
I think you had a video guy, you had a graphic designer, and then you had another photographer and graphic designer.
And now Spence is at Florida.
Yeah.
Josh is where Kansas,
and Trey's at Tennessee.
Yeah. It's like everyone just shipping off, but good for them, which is good. So that's kind of all I got for you, Sean. Where can people find you on the internet?
Arbaut Photography, and it's ARBAUT.
AUT. Get that right.
Yeah.
I know I typed it in the phone when I first added your name to my phone. I spelled it wrong.
Yeah. And that's maybe one thing I gotta, change down the road.
Just change it to ARBOW.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll tag everything in the description below. Sean, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's fun.
We will see you guys next week for episode 20 of the Minot Business Podcast.